Hello everyone, Namaskaram. Welcome to my channel VPK Nutrition, Mind Body Healing with Pushpa. In many of my videos, I have talked about how important it is to strengthen our spiritual stamina. Now that is so important so that we can have a healthy body and mind. Now how do we go about doing this? That is the big question. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 4 different types of yogas which are described in the Vedic literature, and also talk about how it relates to our individual body types and our nature, and also share some tips on how to go about achieving this spiritual stamina. So stay tuned to find out more. Welcome back, everyone. First of all, thank you to my viewers for subscribing and watching regularly and giving me feedback. For those who haven't already done so, please do consider subscribing. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends and family so they can be benefited as well. So let's begin with the topic today. So spirituality, again, is not something that everybody even thinks about or is drawn to. And a lot of times people say, oh, I will get into it when I'm older, or I don't believe in rituals, I don't believe in this and that. So a lot of people have different reasons for why they don't even think about spirituality. But it's important for us to remember that we're all spiritual beings, and we live in a physical existence in the material world, but really if you're not in tune with your spirit, which is the definition of health in Ayurveda, Swastha, being in tune with your spirit, then you're not going to feel healthy and balanced in your body and mind. So this is why we need to understand where we are at this level, and then how do we progress to a higher level to bring ourselves balance. So first I'm going to mention the 4 different yogas. So first yoga is called Karma Yoga. Now karma, a Sanskrit word, means action. So any kind of action is called a karma. However, it becomes Karma Yoga only when it is selfless. So if you do an activity with a selfless motivation, then it becomes Karma Yoga, like a volunteer work. Second one is Jnana Yoga. Now the Jnana, the word in Sanskrit, means knowledge. So it can refer to any knowledge, but Jnana Yoga is the knowledge of the self, or understanding that consciousness within and connecting with that spirit. Number 3 is Bhakti Yoga. Now Bhakti means deep devotion. Now, Bhakti Yoga is deep devotion to a higher altar. So just devotion can be towards anybody in our life. However, Bhakti Yoga becomes a deep devotion towards a higher altar. The 4th yoga is called Raja Yoga, and now this is a strict discipline of body and mind described in the yogic scriptures, and the ultimate goal for this is liberation. This consists of the 8 limbs of yoga, and I have talked in detail about these things in videos before. There's a whole playlist. I'll share the link in the description if you're interested in learning more, because people think only about the asanas, but there's so much more than that. Again, this is a much harder path because it involves a lot of perseverance, consistency to achieve the goal. So the first 3 yogas are a little easier to practice on a daily basis. So in today's episode, I wanted to share how these yogas are related to our body types, Ayurvedic body types, Vata, Pitta and Kapha, and our gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, with Sattva being clarity of the mind, Rajas being activity of the mind, and Tamas being inertia. So all of these things guide us into how we approach spirituality. Now understanding this will give us a clue as to our own inherent tendency, and can be used as a stepping stone to ascend spiritually and to make that inward journey. So stay with me and learn about all of this. So let us analyze these 4 types of yoga, how they relate to the doshas. First one is Vata type. Vatas are usually very activity oriented, both physically as well as in their mind. They're rajasic in nature. So naturally they're drawn to doing activity. So it is important that they divinize their activity or make it more of a selfless activity to become Karma Yoga. So some things they can do. One is, of course, volunteer work. Again, we do not want to advertise this on social media because that again makes it more rajasic and an ego boost. Number 2, if you don't have time for volunteer work, make your work itself as worship. Work with the attitude of service and selflessness. Number 3, dedicate your activities to a higher altar, that you are all part of this universe and we're just doing our role based on our capacity and talents. So this is Karma Yoga for Vata types. Now the other thing is they do not always connect with people on a deeper level because of the coldness and dryness of Vata. So helping others in their life actually helps them have the deeper connection with others. Number 2 is the Pitta type. Now, Pittas are the type A personality. They are very knowledge oriented. They love to learn things. They're very intense, very passionate about their subjects. They're also very analytical, logical in their thinking. So naturally, they're drawn to Jnana Yoga. However, they can get very egotistical with too much of knowledge and start looking down upon others. So they need to get some kind of humility and also practice compassion, which is Bhakti Yoga, to balance them out. So 3 things that they can do. One is, again, studying the scriptures, getting the proper knowledge, again, reading the lives of saints and learning how humble they were, and this can be an inspiration for them. Second thing, they can spread the knowledge that they learn in a nice way. Again, keep an open mind and be open to others' ideas so that you do not become fanatic in your views. And of course, the third thing is do compassion meditation. Develop that compassion within, because you can only be a good teacher if you have compassion and understand others at where they are. Number 3, the Kapha type. Now, Kappas again are always have inertia. They do not like to change. They do not like to move. And the mind also more tamasic in nature. Same reason, because the heaviness of earth and water element. So in their case, because they're naturally loving and caring and affectionate to people around them, they can adapt Bhakti Yoga. Now remember, deep devotion to family comes easily to them. However, converting it to Bhakti Yoga would help them move spiritually. Dedicating to a higher altar. The second thing, of course, is inertia is a big problem for them. So definitely think about some kind of volunteer work every day, whenever possible, so that you connect with more people other than just your own immediate family members, because eventually that becomes more of an attachment and becomes possessiveness and a lot of expectations leading to depression. So you want to build that spiritual stamina so you don't fall into that pit. So 3 things they can do. One is, of course, start with your nature, which is bhakti. So start with prayers, mantra chanting, or singing devotional bhajans, kirtans, and all of these things will help you purify the mind. So we should not knock down rituals, because rituals have their own role in purifying the mind and keeping it clean. The second thing, of course, selfless service. Even if you're just serving at home, do it with a sense of selflessness rather than expecting something back for that. And then, of course, the third thing is cultivate your spiritual knowledge, learn more about scriptures, again, be inspired by saints and things like that, and have the right knowledge within, so that this devotion does not turn into blind faith. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I have shared my analysis of the 4 different yogas and how these are related to the body types, what we are drawn to, and how we can help ourselves. Again, the Raja Yoga, which is the yogasanas and the pranayama and all of those things, are a very strict discipline and suitable for all 3 body types if you're interested in learning more. However, that should be learned from a teacher who can help you based on what you need for your body. So in general, if you build your spiritual stamina, you will find that you get more of a sattvic mindset, where your mind becomes much more clear. And when you have clarity of the mind, your body also feels better, and you make the right choices for diet and lifestyle. And your immunity also will improve. So how would you know that you've actually improved spiritually? You will see the changes in how you respond to things. You have a certain peace of mind. You're able to maintain a calm even among the chaos, and you're able to deal with your relationships day to day better. And most of all, with any kind of stressful situation, you have better equipment to deal with it effectively. So hope this was helpful. Please do share your comments, questions, and again, try to practice these things this week, and have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you next week.